We want you to think about how you feel when you see these pictures. You might feel disgusted, shocked, appalled. This is just a glimpse of the everyday occurrences in animal research labs. We believe, along with a majority of the population, that animal testing should be banned. Not only do these experiments kill innocent creatures, but they don't always yield accurate results. And there are new alternative testing methods that can and should be used. Today, our opponents and Elizabeth and I will be presenting evidence from both sides of this controversial issue, and it is up to you to decide who you agree with. According to DoSomething.org, over 100 million animals are crippled, burned, abused, tortured, and even killed in U.S. labs alone each year. Animal testing is cruel and inhumane. Animals that are in research labs are often subject to forced inhalation, like cigarette smoke and other vapors, force feeding, food or water deprivation, long periods of physical restraint, the infliction of burns or other wounds, and are even killed by carbon dioxide poisoning, decapitation, neck breaking, and other means. In 2010, the U.S. Department of Agriculture found that 97,123 animals suffered extreme pain during tests and received no anesthesia during or after the experiments. For example, in a Dre's eye test that is often used by cosmetic companies to test shampoos and other products, rabbits are immobilized in stocks, with their eyelids held open with clips while the product is placed in their eye. They are sometimes left like this for several days. Animal testing is a disgusting form of science, and performing these types of experiments on living creatures should not be tolerated. Aside from being very harmful to the animals, genetically, animals are very different from us, which make them very poor test subjects. Many products found dangerous on animals could be very useful to humans, like aspirin, which is something we use fairly regularly in our daily lives. It's very harmful to animal species, and the product was almost banned because of this. On June 1st, 2006, a report on Slate.com stated that a source of human suffering may be the dozens of promising drugs that get shelved when they cause problems in animals that may not be relevant to humans. On the contrary, there are also drugs that are passed by animal tests, but they are not safe for humans. In the 1950s, sleeping pill thalidomide caused 10,000 babies to be born with severe deformities, even after it was tested on animals and prior to its commercial release. It is illogical to test on animals when they are so different from us. Like Thomas Hartung, professor of clinical neuroimaging at Aston University, once stated, "We are not 70-kilogram rats."
Thankfully, there are now new and improved testing methods that are safer and less expensive, and these should be used instead of animal experimentation. There are certain tests, such as in vitro or in-glass testing, and this study focuses on cells in a petri dish, and it can produce more relevant results because human cells can be used. Another example is microdosing, where human volunteers are administered doses too small to cause adverse reactions. Not only are these tests more accurate, but they are also cheaper and less time-consuming. For instance, a single pesticide requires over 50 experiments and the use of over 12,000 animals. Humane Society International found that an unscheduled DNA synthesis animal test costs $32,000, while an in vitro alternative test costs $11,000. A rat phototoxicity test costs $11,500, whereas the non-animal equivalent costs only $1,300. When we have the scientific ability to use more affordable, more accurate tests that don't require putting animals through pain, continuing to go about testing the way we have in the past would be illogical.
When you look at your shampoo bottle and see that it has been tested on animals, what do you think of? Now take a moment to look at this issue from a different perspective. Animal research is a humane practice and should be a legal way to determine the effects of cosmetic products and pharmaceuticals. To start off, we will review animal research procedures to show how it is humane. Next, we will analyze the benefactors of animal research through statistics. Finally, we will show the need for animal research and the benefits that it has already resulted in. You are the unbiased listener. It is up to you to decide whether the positives outweigh the negatives and where you stand on this important issue.
All animals used in testing are lab-bred, made for this purpose. They are treated in a humane manner as to replicate a normal living condition. There are also more regulations that apply to animal research than there are that apply to human research. The United States Department of Agriculture requires research labs to provide safe shelter, food, and water for all animals being tested upon. Animal researchers treat animals humanely, both for the animal's sake and to ensure reliable test results. Stressed or crowded animals produce unreliable and inaccurate conclusions, and many results are only accessible in calmed animals in specific environments. It is in the best interest of the researchers not to cut corners by neglecting the animal's well-being. Now, animals are appropriate research subjects because they are similar to human beings in many ways. Chimpanzees share 99% of their DNA with humans, and mice are 98% genetically similar to humans. All mammals, including humans, are descended from common ancestors and all have the same set of organs like a heart, kidney, and lungs that function in essentially the same way humans do. Because animals and humans are so similar, they are vulnerable to many of the same conditions and illnesses, including heart disease, cancer, and diabetes.
The amount of positive benefits from this research far outweigh the small amount of downfalls that there are. Relatively few animals are used in this research. The Animal Welfare Association has republished statistics that show that only 6% of animals researched upon experience pain. Over 10 times that amount of animals don't experience any pain at all during this research. All animals helping in research are contributing to the progression of society and safe medical products. An example of this is with lung cancer, the leading cause of cancer death for both men and women in the United States. It kills more people than breast, prostate, colon, and pancreas cancers combined. The National Cancer Institute relies upon mouse models of lung cancer. With mice, they can focus on understanding, preventing, and detecting lung cancer and developing therapies to treat the disease. The English newspaper, The Independent, states that another positive impact of this research is with animals themselves, who benefit from the results of this testing. If vaccines were not tested on animals, millions of animals would have died from rabies, hepatitis, tetanus, feline leukemia, and anthrax over the course of the time that animals have been researched upon.
Animal testing prior to human use prevents human harm. If not tested, a cosmetic product could cause harm to thousands of people, one of which could be someone you care about. For instance, more than 100 people died when they ingested elixir sulfanilamide in 1973. This medication was popular treatment for sore throats in the 90s. It was given in tablet form, and chemist Harold Cole Watkins created the chemical. It was a liquid medicine instead of a tablet, and the chemical used to dissolve the medication was poisonous. He hadn't tested it on animals before selling it. The story from the book Saving Human Lives shows that testing products on animals is essential before releasing it to the public. Furthermore, the California Biomedical Research Association has shared studies which suggest there is no adequate alternative to testing on a living, whole-body system. Human beings and animals are very complex creatures. Conditions such as blindness and high blood pressure cannot be studied in tissue cell samples in a petri dish. Computer models can only be reliable if accurate information gathered from animal research is used to build the models in the first place. In addition, even the most powerful supercomputers today are unable to accurately simulate the workings of complex organs such as the human brain. In the newspaper The Baltimore Sun, it is stated that in the fight to cure Ebola, different companies have looked to animals to help develop a cure. Vaccines tested on the animals have shown promise in initial trials. They could eventually save the lives of thousands of people worldwide. Animal research is vital to the study of disease, and is the primary reason why scientists have hoped that they'll be able to cure Ebola and other emerging infectious diseases today.